Hello everybody, we are here at the Bridge Healing Arts Center and I have Nadine with me who has to suffer through my presentation about diametrically opposed because this is my new obsession. So we are going to use her as our test case, i.e. guinea pig, to see if she understands what I'm saying. Okay.
Hence early I did not.
Yes, she tried to watch the video, so this is like also to help people watch the video and didn't quite get it. So let's see if I can, if I have the interaction with you, it may be easier. Okay, so first of all, we're going to start off, which I didn't necessarily do in that first video, is here's a circle, right?
Yes.
And this is a cycle in life. Have you ever noticed the same things happen to you over and over and over again? Okay. And each time
I call it karma.
Okay, it's possible, and we can get to karma when we do the line. Remind me to talk about karma and how that relates, because whatever, I don't even know how to spell karma.
Yeah.
Karma, whatever. We'll talk about that. So did you notice, or each time though that you have these experiences, maybe you experience it a little differently? Maybe. Maybe it's the same old, but sometimes it's a little different. So if you're on a circle, literally, I'm standing on the edge of a circle, and I just turn that way, it's very slight, but it is different. And if I start walking out this way, I'm going to end up in one spot. If I just slightly turn this way, over here we're very close, but eventually we're going to be far apart from each other. So there is a difference from experiencing something, even though it may seem to you very slight when it's happening, there is a difference.
Okay.
And if you draw it out. But have you ever noticed that, or is it always the same experience?
No, it's different.
Okay, good. So then, if in a circle you have like 360 degrees, obviously it could be infinite, but to keep it easy, there's 360 degrees. That's 360 different experiences, if that makes sense, every time it happens to you. Okay, now, just using that circle, say this is the circle, and say this is the center of the circle. So let's just say, I didn't say this in the beginning of the video, but this is you.
Okay.
Let's just say that's you when you first are a soul.
Okay.
Okay? Now you have a diameter here. So this is just math. This is just basic math. It's diametrically opposed. What's diametrically opposed is this point to this point, right?
Okay.
Okay. And then if you're on this circle, it's this feeling versus this feeling.
But it's all one circle of life.
Well, in one way I'm relating it to just math.
Okay.
And then the other I'm trying to relate it to an experience. But if you see this circle and this, you have this degree and this degree, these, if you draw a line on this cycle, these are diametrically opposed points, right?
Yeah.
So just keep that in mind. Now, so when you draw another diameter, these are diametrically opposed. If you draw another diameter, I'm a very bad drawer, so it may not come out right. I can do one anywhere. It doesn't have to be that I'm making a pizza pie, but whatever. I love pizza.
So it's opposite points.
Yes,
In a
that's all it
circle.
is. Okay, now, let's just do one more here.
Okay.
And again, just remember, if you want to relate it to your life, it's like that. Now, what I was trying to say, okay, so where it came from, how I came to this, is I had made an acronym for layers. And each time you have this experience, if you turn this three-dimensionally though, and you know, from the past, present, future, there's layers in life, right?
Okay.
Like, you know, when you were 5, you had a feeling, you know, and then you were 10, and then it's still in there, right? So, hopefully I remember it. It's listen, right? And let all Yanks exist. Oh, I'm so excited I can remember it. And remember, and it's not necessarily here, not remember. Did I ever talk to you about the difference when you put the dash?
Because yes, you did. When you're remembering something, well, I can't break it down, but you did. You redoing it.
That's okay. Basically, with this remembering, it's remembering in your brain, it's remembering. And in this one, it's remember, you're putting it back together in the physical world.
Yes.
So then with these layers, you just let all the Yanks, that's Yanks, exist, and remember and recall reverently, and I made all these words, rever, and you don't have to do it, but it just means in a way that it's so like sacred. Okay, so even sacred you could put here, but I put solemnly, whatever, it doesn't matter. And remembering based on yourself and your soul, so based on what you really want to be at this point. Okay, just keep that in mind. It's like, if you remember at one point on this circle you were angry, and maybe on the other point in the circle you were loving. So when the cycle happens again, or something happens again, that reminds you of this type of situation in life, you're going to choose. Are you going to choose to be angry? Are you going to choose to be loving? Maybe you are apathetic, which is no feeling. Whatever one of these degrees are, you're going to choose one. That's what this means.
Okay.
Okay? Now, this is maybe where it gets a little out there. So say these points now are energy points. They have energy.
Okay.
So say, like I use it, I don't know if I did it in that one, but say this is a rocket ship.
Okay.
And say this is the exhaust or
Okay.
whatever, the back part that makes it move. And you pull it, ooh, that doesn't really work. It works on the other one. I'll have to draw it back. All right. We won't do it. I won't touch it. So say you push this energy out. So say these have energy points, and this energy can pull this way. Even if you can't, forget the rocket ship thing, I'm
Okay.
gonna cut that out. So say these are energies, right? So the feelings are energy. So they still have a yank to them.
Okay.
All right, so this is what I mean by yanks. These are now yanks. And you still have a little energy, and it pulls on you. How did that get there? And you pull this out, right? Or maybe, again, maybe you were loving here, you were angry here, maybe you were shameful here, maybe you were peaceful here, right? So all these little yanks are they're energetic, so they can pull out,
Okay.
okay? And I'll show you how they can pull out later, remind me that. And now what you have is you have all these new diametrically opposed points, and now you've created another circle. All right?
Okay.
Now the point is, then I go and I draw the grid, and I don't know if you remember seeing that, but this is another way to look at it. Maybe this is, and I say here, maybe these are relationships, maybe this is finances, or whatever. But on each point in time here, you can experience them differently. Maybe this point, maybe this point, maybe you're feeling this, maybe you're pointing this. If you take this and superimpose this on this, there's also these points. Just keep that in mind. But the point is now that you have all these dots, there's all the dots in here too. You now have expanded your understanding. Because let's just say this was the first time you experienced it, then let's just say this is the second time, because it can go both ways,
And
right?
then you keep going again. And it keeps going?
Right, and let's just say again, in these layers, this energy expands again. Let me not relate it to anything other than energy right now. So say this pulls out and you create another one, and these are all diameters, so they have to be mathematically correct. You can't draw this and say it's a diameter, right?
No.
It's not. So you're pulling all these out, and it's pulling out, and pulling out, and pulling out, and now it's creating an even bigger circle. So now, don't even think of it on a spiritual level. Now this has a lot more area in it, right?
Yeah.
So that's the point. That's the point. And
What's the point? That it has more area in it?
right, now there's more experience. And each of these areas, remember, correspond to a moment in time, let's just say. Right?
So the more you keep
inside this
pulling,
one, the more you keep pulling, the more you are let's just keep it on a physical level. The more you pull, and the more you pull, and the more you pull this out, just on a purely physical. I shouldn't have tried to relate it to feelings yet. All you're doing is pretty much making another circle, right?
Yeah.
And now you're expanding again.
Okay.
And if I pull again...
But what exactly are you doing when you're expanding?
Well, like I said, I probably shouldn't have started off trying to explain how you relate it to life. Because if you first understand this, then we can try to relate it to life.
I understand it. The circle's bigger and it's expanding.
Okay, but just imagine that now all of these points and all of these circles represent an experience in time. When you were this little guy, you didn't have anything.
Nothing.
Then you started having experiences, because the soul, when the soul was first created, now I'll get more into physical stuff, God created the soul so that that we can come down as a physical being so that we can experience a concept. And again, I'll go back to conversations with God, the little soul and the sun, and the little soul says, I want to experience being forgiving. I brought the kids that, so the forgiving, and then the other guy says, okay, I'll do something to you that you have to forgive, but don't forget that you asked me to. And they come down to earth and they actually can experience, because this person is the villain, and then this person is the virtuous one, and he experiences forgiveness, and now he has an actual experience to the concept of forgiveness.
Okay.
Where before he only had the concept. That's the problem with God, if God has a problem.
Yeah.
God can't experience anything.
Which is why we're here to.
That's who we are. We are pieces of God, right. So we're technically God.
I read Conversations about 3 times already.
And
I get that we get experience.
Okay,
Okay.
so each of these moments, and if you keep the energy of the feeling, you can have it pull on you. If you get rid of it, the energy's gone and it contracts. Ooh, that's a great idea. Do you know how they talk about, like I think people believe that the universe constantly contracts and expands and contracts and expands and contracts well, that's it. If you release, oh my God, this is so fascinating now. If you release the energies of these yanks that are pulling out and expanding it, that's when it contracts and then it starts all over again. This is totally new now.
But it's contracting back?
Yeah, I mean, I'm not a big scientist. I don't know exactly how it goes because I'm not like really big in science and all that, but I'm pretty sure that's what people believe, is that the universe expands and then it contracts and then it expands, and each time, and we're not aware of it because it's like the Big Bang, and then it comes all back together again. I'm sure some scientific, like spiritual person knows this stuff. I don't, because I'm like, I can't know everything. But, well, I can, but that's not the point. But this is very brand new what I'm saying now. I didn't say in the other video. I just said these have energies and they keep pulling and they keep expanding. In the universe, it keeps expanding and expanding and expanding because more souls are having more and more and more experiences. And then when the energy, I don't know why, if anybody scientific wants to explain to me, they can put it in the comment, but then it all contracts again. Because the energy stops pulling out and stops expanding, okay? Then somehow, in the other video, and I don't know how I got to it, I related it to a past lives. So if this is too complicated for you, take one of these lines or anything, or one of these lines or what have you, and let's just say you're born, the soul is there and it's born, and then it has an experience and another experience and another experience and another experience and another experience, right? And it's like these little experiences along and down in a circle. It's more of in one of these timeline things, right? Any one of these points, however you want to look at it, one of these points are this. Any way you want to look at it, one of these points, is this. This is the present. This is your present life. And then if you do only this is why it's important, it's diametrically opposed, and the energy is only flowing this way, you're only being linear. People who only believe in the present and they don't believe in the past lives, what are they doing? They're only building this way. Their energy is only going this way. Because
why would you want to build the other way?
Well, you don't want to, and then, like I say in my other video, I'm not proving anything, but the concept is, when you believe in past lives, this is the day you were born, then you start to believe in all these points in time.
Yeah.
And then I related to, this was my life in the 1900s, was it the 19? Yeah, like the 1900s when I was the Red Baron, then this was the 1800s when I was that life, whatever, it doesn't matter. And then I just did a past life regression yesterday, whatever it was, and now I visited the 1600s. So now my awareness...
How do you know it's 1600s?
Well, to tell you the truth, I heard from someone else that it was a 1600, so I put myself there. So I just made it up. But it doesn't matter. I totally got something great from it, right? But the point is when I understood this life, what happened in this life, that caused this thing to happen, which is the karma you're talking about here, because this is when I didn't understand why, somebody thought I was such a horrible person. Well, it was because of this 1900s life. So when I understood this point, right? And then when I understood the 1800s life, I understood why, X, Y, Z, it was the same person, right? The same problem. And now I have this fourth time around with this other person, right? So now we've moved on, and now I'm in this situation here. And this life, now I am relating to the 1600s life. So again, if you only believe in the present day, you're only pulling your energy this way. Does that make sense at least?
Yes.
Now that I have energy, that I believe, feelings, energy, whatever, from the past life that's still with me, all of a sudden, if I create this point, now I have diametrically opposed again.
Yeah.
And we've expanded my understanding.
You get it.
And if you take that and superimpose it on this is how you get eternity, or infinity, whichever one you want to use.
I get it.
Do you really?
Why was the video so, what?
You look like you're falling asleep.
I'm hungry, that's all it is.
Oh, she's hungry. No. She's not bored with
But
life.
I definitely get, I'm really not bored, believe me. I'm trying to see, because your video...
Yeah, it was much longer, but I said other things. I also then put this on the vibrational scale,
Oh, okay.
because then I wanted to do it other ways. But I think the
Does-
easier way to understand it is this
And
one.
this is the example of the soul. Like, we're talking about the soul's experiences.
Yeah, I mean, I didn't know if I said it in that video, but when I thought about it, I said, let's just make this the soul.
Yeah.
So that the soul.
You said this is you.
Yeah, oh, you do, okay. But it can also be,
But I just want to make sure me or a soul.
you know what, it could be all souls, or however you want to look at it. I'm narrowing it down, because I believe in, like, when you're trying to, it's like macroeconomics versus microeconomics. When you're trying to understand macroeconomics.
So my real question then is, this is, like you said, it keeps going forever, right?
Yeah, when you keep having experiences. And that's how, when the universe literally expands, it's because all these souls are having different experiences.
Yeah.
And it's it's the energy of it's the energy of that feeling that keeps pulling. And like I said, this was new. When the energy ends,
Control.
the whole thing contracts. Oh, see,
There
it
it
even
goes.
happens on the
There it
whatever.
goes. And
But
that
the whole
doesn't
thing
work.
contracts on the physical, literally the physical level,
Yeah.
right? But anyway, I think the linear one is the easiest one to understand, because at least, especially you believe in past lives or whatever, you do get it that there is no energy pulling you if you only believe in the present.
I get it.
And then now that I have gotten energy from this life, now I have diametrically opposed points that can keep going.
And that's what you want to have.
Look at this, it's all even coming out nice. Well, you do if you want to have awareness. Now, I was talking to Carl, and we were talking, he was saying, oh, it's all about awareness, and a lot of people say that it's all about awareness, but sometimes you need to forget, and I don't want to get into that because it's...
Go with 2 fingers.
Ooh, look at you. You know what? How about I do that? Ooh, what happened there? No, it'll come out fine. Oh, I turned it around.
Yeah.
So what do you think of that?
I get it now. I didn't get it this morning.
Can you see how you relate it to your life, though?
I could relate it only. The only way I could relate it to my life is in a positive way.
Well, I hope so.
No, seriously. So go back to it again. The only way I could relate it to my life is that it's, like the whole goal is to experience things, right? The only thing I do not get, though, is if I felt something, as far as putting this and linking it with, like you said, life and feeling. So, for example, if I felt love at a certain point and I felt hurt at another point, besides just expanding it and just experience it, is there any relation between what you can feel on one side? Does it always have to be the opposite? Sort of like conversations with God, you can only experience the love, and at the end of your opposite, you may be experiencing something that's not love.
Well, other people believe that.
Or
Yes.
you know what I mean? So,
That's a
are
good
they
point.
connected?
That's a good point that you're bringing up, because I wasn't relating each of these points to really the opposites, like happy, sad,
Yeah.
or love,
But
hate.
can we? Should we?
Well, I don't know if it necessarily has to be that way, but let's just
Because
assume
if
it
we're
is,
trying
because
to
most
do it to a diameter, yeah, then it has to be. Because the
well,
diameter.
isn't like what if you say love, right, is one point? What do you think is the opposite?
Hate.
Okay, hate. So if this is love, then this is hate, not
Yeah.
here. This is not hate.
Exactly, that's what I'm saying. Yeah. So once,
I don't know. I haven't thought about it that deeply.
but we have to go that deep.
But
We
I
always go that deep.
Yes, I mean, I think if you're gonna call them, where did my diametrically opposed go?
Right there.
It kind of makes sense because they're opposites.
Yeah.
So it does make sense.
Yeah.
And usually energies are extreme, like
Yes.
opposites.
Yes.
So I do feel that if this one's pulling his hatred, this one's probably pulling his love.
Yeah. Which is gonna grow.
Which is what that energy pushing away from each
because it's
other.
the opposite sort of attracting.
Right.
And pulling in the opposite direction.
Right, well, they're, like, if you take a magnet and a magnet,
Yeah.
I think they expose each other, but
Yeah.
But it's a good question, but I'm not so sure it's important. Maybe I'll think about why it would be important. No, I mean, I'm serious. I don't know.
It has to be important.
Well, I do kind of hint on that because when I do the vibrational scale, you've seen the vibrational scale, right?
Yeah.
Where this is shame
Yes.
and oh God, it's so bad. I have to get better at that. Shame, and guilt. I actually know them now. I actually wrote acronyms for every one of them. And then you have enlightenment, and you have peace, joy, and love, and then whatever else is in between here. Again, we would say that, you know what? We're going to do it on a scientific basis. Yes. If over here you are the slowest vibrating,
A negative.
right? No, it vibrates at like 25, I think.
Okay.
And here is the highest, it's just the fastest vibration.
Okay.
Fastest. And this is like 700 to 1,000. These are literal. These are literally how fast something vibrates. Then, yeah, the shame is diametrically opposed to like peace and enlightenment.
Yeah.
I mean, well, again, not diametrically. I don't know if diametrically opposed actually means that they're, because I don't think diametrically opposed is really, all it really, I believe, means is that on a diameter, these are the opposing points. But when we relate it to life or what have, or something else, I do think, I'm not sure if it's true, that these are the opposites.
Yeah, the opposing
I think
feelings
so.
or experiences.
Well, you know what? They're physically opposite each other.
Yeah, so they might as well be opposite.
So we might as well say it is. I don't know how important it is though, that's the question.
It is important
Why?
because you won't, well, for me it's important because
Why?
I wouldn't, besides knowing that the experiences keep growing and you have to keep having the opposite, I just want to associate it in a way because.
Okay, fair enough, let's do
That's
it. And actually, in my other video, I do the point here, I do say these are the diametrically opposed points, and again, this would be the past, I guess this would be the present or the future, and this makes the circle,
Yeah.
when you connect all those dots. So they are shame, peace, past, present.
Yeah, see? I get it.
And again, like I think if not to keep it real simple, I think the best way is this is when you're born, and if all the energy is this way, you have one level of awareness. If you have awareness of another life, and it relates to something here, now you've expanded your awareness. And I think what percent of the people are here, I don't know, but this is very easy to understand for people who believe in past lives.
Yeah.
And again, like I said, so I say it in this video, all this is when you got the new car.
Yeah.
That's it. Or the new clothes. It's the same soul. It's the same soul on the timeline. It's just now he's born here, he's got a new car, or he's got new clothes, he's got a new vehicle basically, he's got a new body. And then body, right? So I think when people look at it that way, why wouldn't that make sense? Especially that most people believe in afterlife. So where does the soul go? Why wouldn't it come back? Where are all these people coming from? Throughout the years. But anyway, and then when you then take this and then put it on a circle, then you really expand your mind. This one is harder, I think, for people to understand. So if we just stay here for now, then why wouldn't we put it on a circle? The other thing I'm working on now is to take this circle and make it three-dimensional and make a channel now. And just for the kicks of it, this is the past, or maybe lower energy vibrating. And what you're trying to do now. So what I was trying to do with that layers acronym, this is really, really important now. Now getting into, I don't know if I said this before, but if I take this layer acronym, oh, is it gone? And you let all the yanks exist, right? And remember them, and then recall which one you want to be, right? What that means here is, again, now this is this circle. The circle is no longer this way, it looks this way, it's three-dimensional. These are all the yanks, and I'm not very good at drawing, so I don't know if it's going to really work out. What you're trying to do in life, say this is solid, it's got all kinds of crap in it. These are all feelings. And we want to try to dig down in here, and we want to dig out these feelings and get them out. I don't know how I get them out. Oh, with my eraser, watch. We're going to go in and we're going to dig out these feelings, right? This is really important though. We want to keep everything on the outside circle. We don't want to get rid of the feelings that create this wall. Do you know why?
No.
Because if we go back to this, what's happening?
Nothing.
No, well, so this circle is this.
Okay.
We were talking about these diametrically opposed points. And we were talking about these having energy, and these are feelings, these energies, and it's expanding it.
So if there's no points, you're saying, what happens?
What happens if I release all the points on the outside?
Oh, you're going to constrict.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And what's going to happen to this channel?
It's going to close.
Collapse.
That's
And if
it.
it collapses, you can't channel peace.
That's it.
You can't move up this channel or down this channel. So the point I'm trying to make is while the universe is still expanding, we want to keep this, I don't even know because I'm not a scientist person, but we're not in the contracting phase.
Yeah.
We want to keep this channel open, but we want to get rid of all the feelings that are inside. It's like you're taking something and you're scooping out, taking all the ice cream out of the thing, but you don't collapse the container.
No.
Does that make sense? Because
Yes.
it's really, really important.
Yes, it
So
does.
now, this is what I came up with when I was driving. So I came up with that yesterday, but now, okay, this is a whole other thing. Do you know what this means?
Before Lilo? Before Lifo?
It's FIFO and LIFO.
Fight for your life?
I don't expect you to know what it is.
Fight for your life. With somebody who didn't know good English. No. No.
Any accountant out there know what FIFO and LIFO is? I'll give you a hint.
No.
Okay. This stands for first in, first out. This stands for last in is the first out. Do you know what it relates to?
Accounting.
Yeah, very good. Do you want to know what part of accounting? You don't care.
What do you mean, what part of accounting?
Well, so you know, guy just said any of the accountants out there know it, so you know it's accounting, but you know what it means, what it stands for, what it means?
Credits and debits?
No.
No, of course not.
Okay, so when you buy inventory, and you have inventory on your balance sheet,
Okay.
you need to, when you sell it, you have to take it off your balance sheet and put it on your income statement.
Okay.
Now, when you first bought it, it was $5. When you bought it like a year later, it was $10. How do you know which one you're selling? Are you selling the first ones that you bought for $5, or are you selling the last ones that you bought for $10?
How do you know that? Well, if you log it, you would know that.
Well, the bottom line is you can pick a method, a FIFO or a LIFO. No, because you really don't know which one you. Honestly, even if you do know, for accounting purposes, it's going to make a difference because you're gonna change your income statement. I'm getting way off the track here, but anyway, it's not really important. We'll go with that. It's just curious. Just that if you're just interested.
Why
it's
did you
curious.
want to know? Why did you put fight for life on?
Okay, because when you get to, so say this is the past and this is the present.
I see where you're going.
Which feelings should you take out first? The first ones that came, the first in would be the first out, which would be these. Or the last ones in or the first ones out, which would be these.
I would say the last one then.
Really doesn't matter. Just like in accounting.
But
Doesn't
how,
matter.
but how are you going to...
It does matter for the income statement, but you're allowed to do it either way.
But how would you get to the first ones in without going through the last ones out?
Very good point, young lady. Because we have this
You wanted me
thing.
to ask that question.
Well, most people wouldn't. That's why you're my
Okay.
star. This is what I came up with. Hopefully I could do it without reading what I wrote this morning. I thought that the only way you could do this, I used to think, is of course you got to do the last in, the first out. How the hell are you going to get down here? Oh, I shouldn't say that. How the heck are you going to get down here?
Okay.
You know how you're going to get down here?
So how?
Do you know what PLR is?
Regression. Holy crap.
So if you go back to your past
Seriously.
lives and you release this energy here because you understand it now, you can then go to how it relates to this life and then you can release this. Because most of the time when I did the past life regressions, I did them because I couldn't get rid of these feelings.
Absolutely.
I didn't know why they were there. They kept repeating
there.
and it was so annoying. So I went back to the past. I understood these. I released these. Now, and this is what I had in my last past life regression, the one I had yesterday, because we were talking about how we can, she was even going, forget the present. She's talking about what are you going to do in the future,
Wow.
right? Because you can go back here, release this crap, and it changes your future. If you don't release this crap, you are going to continue on the same cycles over and over and over, whatever. So in my past life regressions, and the ones I did prior, it really was helping me to deal with really what was happening in the present moment. Of course it changed the future, but it really helped me release all this other crap, why things kept happening in my life over and over and over and over again.
I see.
Right? And that's how, and I'm glad I went through this, and hopefully you'll remember that, but that's how you get it. And these energies are diametrically opposed.
Yes.
And that's what I came up this morning. I have to look at my email to really see what I said. But that's why this is all important. That's why this silliness is important. Because if you break it down then to something small, so once, this is what I love about the way I think in life, is that this is purely mathematical. That's all it is. But if you could take a physical mathematical thing that is proven, that makes sense, that I don't prove because I'm not a mathematician, and then you understand it and relate it to a life, because these are all so elusive, right? Feelings are so elusive. How do you prove anything? You prove it by first having a physical proof, right? And it's fascinating to me.
It is.
Fascinating.
It is.
So anyway, so that's why this is all important. If anybody asked in the last video why this is all important, because if you get to this diametrically opposed feeling to this one and release this and kill this energy in here, it dissipates this energy up here. But also remember, it's very important to keep a little bit left in you, just a little, because I've been working on it. I say it in the other video, I don't know if you saw, getting the last bit of toothpaste out, and I can't seem to do it. It's so difficult. You know, like, do you ever try to get the last piece of toothpaste out of a toothpaste? You can't do it. It's like you're sitting there, you like, throw the damn thing out. Forget it. Leave the toothpaste in there. So if you leave the toothpaste in here, the last bit, it's a great analogy. When you even get the last piece of toothpaste, there's still a little bit of toothpaste left inside the shell, right?
Of course.
So it stays there and it's okay, because it doesn't, you don't react anymore, because it's so small amount of feelings. This is such a small amount of feelings versus the feelings that are actually filling all this up, that since it's such a small amount of feelings, it doesn't, you don't react to it anymore. It doesn't affect you. And therefore, you could just use it, and that's what the yank is in layers. That's what that little yank is. It's a little yank, little poke. Remember that? Remember when you did that, idiot?
Yeah.
That's not nice. Remember when you did that, you moron?
Yeah.
Well, I have a nice acronym for moron. I don't have a nice acronym for idiots. I have a very nice acronym for moron. It's not insulting, just like ignorant and stupid. But anyway, so that's it.
Bravo.
She understands.
I get it.
Cindy just walked in,
And I
but Cindy
seem
understood
to
this.
always ask the right questions for
She
me.
really does. She's one of my little stars.
I don't really understand, right? Like, why that dynamic has to be like that, right? I don't know.
Yeah, no, it's fascinating how you really get, it's such a pleasure.
Because her lights go off. She's like, whew.
Well, then your lights go up. You say, it's almost like we rehearse it.
And
It's almost like, this is what you're going to ask
me.
me.
Watch this morning, and I was like, I saw like 11 minutes, and I was like, why would she give me this at, I'm like, why would she give me this at 9 in the morning?
Because I was going to be 20 minutes late.
Yeah, well, I get that, but it was like, show her the first page. No,
Yeah.
no.
I saw the first bit. I saw on
Well,
her,
Cindy
yeah.
understood it.
Oh.
But Cindy's an energetic blah, 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 blah. Oh, yeah, it's the first page. Very, very,
This was
very
interesting.
confusing. But when you get to the one about the past lives, that's what really makes it so simple, because this gets all confusing. Actually, maybe not for
If
you.
you
Maybe
know
not for
what,
you.
if you were to do it, and I know it's not easy here, in other colors, it wouldn't be.
Yes, I was, you know, it's so funny you say that, Nadine, because I was like, I should change the color. I'm like, I can't break my
If
phone
you
because I'm
were
not
to
going to
do it
remember
in
it.
different colors,
Yeah.
you'll be able to see
Yes.
that growing.
Yes, I know, yes, but I just,
So.
I couldn't bounce back and forth. And I knew you'd get it anyway, because you're my star.
Do I get a gold star?
You even did accounting. Are you ready to roll? You get a
We
gold
can
star.
start packing up. I'm starving.
Always
I have
Well,
some
thank you,
time.
everybody. Come to the Bridge Healing Arts Center and play with our video screen and our camera.